I'm Carolyn Tucker. I attend Kincaid High School, and I will be going to Baylor University in the fall. So I've been a Christian all my life. I was born and raised in an awesome family who've always been super loving and supportive. My parents actually met as summer interns here at First Pres and got married here. I also have incredible grandparents who are very strong in their faith. Overall, I was raised in a very Christian family, and we went to church most Sundays, but before coming to First Pres, we sort of church hopped. We went to MDPC for a while and Bethel. I actually remember one Sunday morning at Bethel, I was in like third grade or something. This old guy came into our Sunday school class, and he basically said, like, if you haven't asked Jesus into your heart, then you're not going to heaven. So of course I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go to hell. So I asked Jesus into my heart, and I was like, whew, okay, I've got that over with. But obviously I had no idea what I was doing or what Jesus had done for me. I didn't find out any of that until sixth grade after joining the First Pres youth group. And I can honestly say that besides giving my life to Jesus, joining the youth group here at FBC is the best thing that has ever happened to me. But still, my parents basically forced me to go on the mission trip in sixth grade and the adventure trip. And I was really reluctant because I'm shy and awkward, and I didn't know how to reach out to people or how to make friends. But thankfully, I had an awesome time, and the leaders were so welcoming and loving. And I had a lot of fun, but way more important than any of the fun I had was that I realized that there was something like behind all this religion-y stuff, something very real, and I knew that I wanted to be a part of it. But still, I didn't entirely get it. I didn't really understand the gospel and that Jesus had died for me while I was still a sinner, as it says in Romans 5:8. And I didn't understand how that should change my life and the way I live. That took me a little while later to get. In fact, it wasn't until high school that I fully understood what Jesus had done for me. My first year of high school was really rough. First of all, it was just bad because I was insecure and awkward, but also it started out bad because I felt like my friends didn't want me around, and they started to leave me out more and more. I felt really secluded. I remember several weekend nights knowing that my friends were together and that they had chosen not to invite me along. And honestly, I can't blame them for the way that they were treating me, since it was pretty much, it mirrored the way that I had treated them throughout middle school. In middle school, I was one of those girls that would gossip about people or seclude them just to put myself at top. And this all came back to really bite me in high school, and it was not fun, and I felt lonely and miserable. Then to top it all off, my friend Catherine, who had been my best friend in middle school, was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in December. And this was just really hard for everyone who was close to Catherine, to watch her go through chemotherapy and all that awful stuff. But Catherine is one of the strongest people I know, and she fought through it, and she's totally fine today. It's almost like it never happened, but still, that was just a really hard time in my life. It was the hardest time in my life. And although it really stunk, I am actually so thankful that it happened, because if it hadn't happened, then I never would have fully encountered the Lord. Because it was in these hard times and in my weakness and struggle that Jesus met me. But still, I can't really say that I've had like that one huge turnaround moment where like my life was totally flipped around, which has always kind of been scary to me because and it's why I don't really like sharing my testimony, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to say, and like, am I even a Christian? But Romans 10:9 says, if you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. And I truly believe this in my heart, so I know that I am indeed a follower of Christ. Still, a part of me wishes that I could say that I had that one huge moment, but God works in different people in different ways. Also, it's not that I've never had any of those moments where I'm on my knees begging for the Lord to be more present in my life. It's that I've had so many of them thanks to this youth group. There's a quote that says, "We are people who need to be reminded of the gospel daily." I strongly believe this, and the FVC youth group has made this possible for me. This is what I believe about Jesus. I believe that he is the only way I or any person can get into heaven. I believe that he died a horrible death on a cross while being tormented and mocked by sinners like me. Yet he is still somehow always willing to forgive me. I believe that this should change the way I live. I should be filled with joy in loving others and sharing the gospel of Jesus. I have definitely seen a difference in my life and the way I live thanks to Jesus and what he has done for me. I find it easier and more natural to love and appreciate my parents who take a lot of the credit for my faith. And I feel more of a need to really care for my friends and love them in the way that other people may not treat or love them, because it is a love from God and not really from me. My priorities are also different. Although I do tend to get caught up in wanting success and wanting to look pretty and skinny and all that stuff, in the back of my mind, I know that these things don't really matter. Matthew 6:19 through 20 says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will also be." Nothing in this world is really important because it will all pass away. Lecrae, one of my favorite Christian rappers, says in his song, "No Regrets," "You gon' live forever whether you want to or not. Some of us gon' end up holy, some of us gon' end up hot." The Bible says that heaven and hell are forever, and whether or not we want to believe that doesn't change anything. So we should live with urgency for our friends and family that don't know the truth. And we should remember why we are able to get into heaven, and that is only through Jesus and his death on the cross. Thank you.